Right, we finally got the results in. What the freak happened?
I don't know.
Oh my God, it overheated again. It got too hot. You have to let it cool off. Hi everybody, I hope everybody's doing well and welcome to this week's wood project. The incident that happened there, how many times has that happened to you? I know it's happened to me several times. And what do you do about it? Do you get a book or a board or something and put underneath it, or do you just wait for it to cool off? Or laptop's supposed to be made for your lap, but with the fans built in the bottom, it's got to have airflow. So my thoughts were, let's build something that can prevent that from happening and give it some airflow that it needs to be able to stay cool and still be able to put it somewhere to where it's out of the way when you're not using it, without it just being a board or a book laying around somewhere that you stick underneath the laptop. So I hope you enjoyed today's project, and let's get started.
The first thing I wanted to do was measure out for the legs. I'm measuring them 24 inches long, and I measured once, I cut 24 inches long, and then I used the same board that I cut the first time to measure the second one and just butted it up against the blade to get it flush. I measured 2.5 inches, and I wanted to rip these down to get the width that I wanted, so I cut 4 of these 2.5 inches wide. I then ripped down the front and side pieces, which would be what the table would be sitting on. I did the same thing with it, just cut once, measured with one side, buttered it up against it, and cut the second side. These will be the front pieces for the table, and I cut them at 14 inches and ripped them down to match the width of the sides. I then want to measure for the tabletop itself. I cut these, I measured out at 11.5 inches long, and we're going to cut these. I'm using the same method as cutting these as I did the others, but I put a stop block basically up at the end of the saw. I measured it off and got it to the 11.5 inches that I wanted, and then once I got one cut, I could just go right along and cut all of them at one time and get them all equally matched. Once I got them all cut, I lined them up on their ends and got my square to make sure they were all flush and they come out nice. I then took them back to the table saw and I ripped them down to a 3/4 inch thickness. I wanted to get them all the same thickness. That way when we go to sand them down, they'll be nice and even, and the glue up would be nice. The weight on them, I wanted to bring the weight down just a little bit. You'll understand why in just a minute. I then took my Craig jig and cut all the pocket holes I wanted to assemble the top portion of the table to the legs themselves. After the pocket holes, we got the glue up started with the tabletop itself, and got a good amount of glue on there, squeezed them together. And I got a scrap piece of wood that I put across the top with some tape on it so the glue wouldn't stick to it, and it keeps it from bowing up. And just a quick dry fit just to make sure everything fit together good.
Well, after the dry fit, I went ahead and put everything together. Just sanded down the top where the glue was. And I went ahead and went back and I routed the top edges of the table too. I didn't show you that part. I didn't want to take long on video and lose your interest in it. But also on the sides, it looked kind of plain Jane. So what I did, I took my scroll saw and I cut out a couple little scroll saw patterns there. I don't know if you can see that. I think it just gave it a nice little flare on the sides, and got to sand it down a little bit. And I still got to stain it too, but what makes this table a little bit unique, I want to take it inside and show you why this is a laptop table. Okay, so you're saying that I made me a table, big deal, it's a laptop table. Well, it's a little bit unique. What I've done with this one was I didn't connect the top. So I do have a place to put the laptop when I'm not using it here, but also when I am using it, I can simply pick it up. I've got two brackets on the bottom that hold it in place so it don't get knocked over, but I can also put it on my lap. That way I'll have a flat surface for a working area to watch my videos, do my movie maker, things of that nature. So that's why I call it a laptop table. You want to be on TV, Cuckoo? This is Callie, my cat. And this is her spot. Don't forget you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, and please don't forget to, when you watch the video, please hit like if you like it, and subscribe and make a comment at the bottom. I greatly appreciate it. Good, bad, ugly, thumbs up, thumbs down. Wasted away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker song. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know it's my cuckoo's fault.